We're live!
We're live!
Episode 18!
Hey!
We have a guest all the way
Right
from
on cue.
Germany
Yeah.
tonight.
Hello.
Hey, how are you doing?
Good, how are
Good.
you?
Pretty
All right,
good.
Dan, ask your question right away. We're gonna.
All right. So, everyone has been very curious. What is the proper pronunciation of your name?
It's Yannick.
Yannick.
Let's
we got
go.
it, yes.
Yannick, we were so
All right.
happy to have you. Thanks for taking the time out to be with us tonight.
Of course.
I love what you do because you are big into the numbers with the Vikings, and being a numbers guy and an accountant by trade, I am all about the numbers. So I love the stuff you post every day, and I hope other people start to follow you because it's just really good stuff. It's really insightful.
Yeah, it's just fun to check the numbers, to really dive into them. And yeah, I love doing that.
So how does our friend from Germany become a Minnesota Vikings fan? I have to ask.
Well, so the first NFL season I watched was in 2012, and that was Adrian Peterson's MVP season. So I became a Peterson fan first and a Vikings fan because of him. And then just never stopped watching them. And here we are.
Nice.
And
What a way to join the
Yeah.
group. What a
And
way.
you don't regret this, because sometimes after doing this for so long, I wonder what possessed me to be a Vikings fan.
Well, we all sometimes regret it, I guess. But most of the time, I love it.
You are a true Vikings fan then.
Yes.
There's no doubt about it.
Are there a lot of are there a decent amount of Vikings fans in Germany, or is it more just like random NFL fans?
It's pretty much random. I mean, the people just become fans of the teams that are good at the moment. So there are Patriots fans, there are Chiefs fans.
There's not a lot of Vikings fans.
There are some. I mean, depends on when you start watching, I guess. Some become Vikings fans because of Justin Jefferson.
That's fair.
So it's all over the place.
We're glad you joined our team. We're glad you're a Vikings fan. We're always happy to add new members to the squad. Hey, and by the Q's here, so say hi to Q. We have a game to talk about.
Yes, we
And
Sure
do.
do.
We played one heck of a quarter, and that's why the score
Kind of
looks
about
like
it.
we blew them out from the start.
Yeah.
Yannick, what did you see in the game? What did you like about how the Vikings played? What didn't you like about how they played on Sunday?
So I liked how they just kept going whenever. So in the past, in the last few years, when stuff went a little rough and they were down 7-0 and went 3-and-out, opponent had the ball, they just folded sometimes. And this time they just kept going. They attacked downfield, and they took advantage of some of Kirk's mistakes, of Atlanta's mistakes, and yeah, they never gave up. And then at the end, it just worked out.
Yeah, this
They
is a
did
team.
take advantage. Like, even though it was tied for the longest time, and honestly, it was pretty frustrating that I was like, this is the Kirk Cousins revenge game.
Yep.
He's gonna do really well, and he did. And did you notice that he picked to go first?
Yeah.
And I think it kind of comes back to his time with KOC when he's like, if he scores first, he wins games. And honestly, I wonder if that was part of the reason why they chose to go first. Just to like say, hey, suck it, guys. But yeah, it was pretty frustrating, but it's very refreshing to see them take advantage of people.
Yeah. I was frustrated with the game on the fact that I expected our defense to perform better. I was gung ho on we were going to shut them out, and we didn't.
Yeah.
No, we did not.
We did not do that, and I was more so on the side of our run defense lately has just gone downhill.
We've given up 312 yards on the ground in the last 2 games.
Yeah. Yep. And we were number 1 in the league against the run for so long, and now it's gone downhill.
Is that pace?
I would say against the Cardinals, we still had a decent rush defense. They just ran a lot. And in this game, the Falcons have a good offensive line, and they have Bijan Robinson. So I guess we struggled to contain him. We'll see. Maybe let's hope it gets better on Sunday.
We need something.
Yep.
And and I looked at all the numbers, and it's like, how did we win by 3 touchdowns? We were outgained. They had almost 500 yards of offense in the game. Time of possession was a slight edge to the Falcons in this one. One thing that we dominated in, again, our discipline has gotten much better this year. The Falcons had 127 penalty yards in the game.
That's insane.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot.
I didn't realize it was that much.
127. And that's where I think that was probably the biggest part of the victory in terms of just numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that and turnovers.
Yep, there you go. Yep.
3 turnovers.
My favorite was just like as soon as Will Reichert missed his field goal, they're just like, you know what? We're not even going to make him try again. We don't want him to get in his head. We're just going to score every single time we get the ball.
And, the kick wasn't bad. It just at the last, he just pulled it slightly to the point where he hit the post square.
Part of me wonders, like, did you ever watch like the beginning of the season where some kickers intentionally kick the field goal posts? And it's like just part of their training. Part of me wonders if that's part of his training. And he just like instinctively hit it. And he's like, ah.
Well, yeah, you pick out an aiming point when you're kicking or you're throwing, like this goes back to pitching and baseball. Here we go again.
Here we go again, baseball.
Doggone it, Dan.
It's the easiest way I can relate it. Is like when you're kicking or you're pitching or you're throwing something, is you find your baseline of like, okay, I'm aiming at this point, and where does my kick go? Or where does my throw go? Right? And if in pre-games you're sitting there and you're kicking and you say, all right, I'm going to aim at the left post, and I aim at the left post, it's 5 yards to the right. So in the game, you go, I'm aiming at the left post because I've been kicking it 5 yards to the right.
That's fair.
You adjust your aiming point based off that. Now, if you're aiming at the post and it's 2 yards inside the post, you adjust your aiming point to somewhere in between.
Well, I don't think one thing I saw, and Yannick, maybe you can confirm, I don't think it affected his head that he thumped the post because his extra points were all true solid kicks.
And that wasn't his first kick because he made some extra points before that.
Yeah.
So never mind. Ignore that comment.
Yeah, I mean, he's an experienced kicker. He knows how to bounce back. He didn't hit every kick in college. I think he went 84 of 100 field goals. So it's not the first time he's missed a kick, and won't be his last. But so
he can cut his hair
fine.
again.
Yeah,
he can cut his hair again. I just like his mental makeup. That he doesn't really seem to let a bad kick bother him. We've had other kickers in the past. We know.
On the plus side, it wasn't like a heavy pressure kick.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and even like in the game that he got pulled out of where he missed his first field goal of the season, he came in and made the rest. So like, and he was injured.
He was hurt. Yeah, he was kicking hurt. So I don't hold that against him at all.
I love the fact that we drafted a kicker and he's Will the Thrill, man.
I love him.
Same.
All right, we should pick our stars of the game. Yannick, you are our guest. You get to pick the first. We have 4 stars tonight, so Yannick gets to pick first as our guest.
So many stars we could have go to, I guess. I'm gonna pick Jordan Addison. You just sit in the stands or watch on TV, and whenever they throw the ball deep to Jordan Addison, you know he's coming down with the ball. He's a natural playmaker, and that's all he does. So it's so fun to watch.
Honestly,
3 touchdowns, just amazing.
I feel like some of his catches are like the same level of shock and awe that he actually caught those as Justin Jefferson's catches are. Because they're usually when he's falling, and I'm like, oh man, he didn't catch that. And then he comes up with it.
Yeah, and he's not a big dude. That's just amazing how he does that.
Hands.
Yeah.
Well, that's been the knock on him. Like, well, he's not big enough to play well in the NFL. Guess what?
He's killing it.
What? Wrong.
And I will admit, I like him better than Hill. Tyreek Hill. He's a little guy too, but I like Addison better.
Oh.
We already have Super Bowl predictions coming in.
Let's go.
Yeah.
That would be delightful.
I love the Addison pick. He's on my list, so
same.
All right, Cora.
I'm gonna go with Murphy.
Yeah, another good pick.
I mean, he tied our franchise record for interceptions. I featured him last week on him having a career year so far, and he's honestly just getting better. And the pick was insane. Like, it was just like, boop, thank you, and I'm done. So it was, he just played so well. I know that they scored 3 touchdowns on us, but even with that, the defense played so well. And I just kind of feel like it was those first 3 touchdowns were like Kirk being like, yeah, I'm here. And then the defense being like, not anymore.
Well, only 2 touchdowns. They only got 2.
That's fair.
Because it was a touchdown and a 2-pointer from Bijan.
Yep.
To
That's
get
fair.
into 21.
That's fair.
Yeah.
My bad.
So we definitely bent a lot, but we didn't break too much. But the fourth quarter was absolutely perfect.
Insane.
Yeah.
Like, everything in the fourth quarter was just perfect. All 3 units performed in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And like, you're hearing names of people that's like, heck yeah, Brian Asamoah.
Yeah.
Like everyone was making plays.
Asamoah hit him so hard he was probably remembering things that happened back in 4th grade. I mean, he knocked them all the way back. It was
the hit by Dallas Turner.
Ooh.
That sparked something.
Yeah.
The irony of them getting hit by Dallas Turner, who arguably should have been their pick in the draft instead of Penix, is just beautiful.
Little chip on his shoulder.
Yeah.
Dan, who do you got? Star of the game.
Darnold.
Woo.
Yep. The raging ginger. 157 passer rating. That's just insane.
How did he not have a perfect passer rating?
He threw in completions.
From what I
he had
heard,
some incomplete passes.
Is that there's like a bracket. So if you throw so many, you can't be perfect.
Right.
And that's what I think I heard it on the Lockdown Vikings or Minnesota Football Party or something, where they were talking about it. And it was because there's like if you have this many incompletions, this is as high as you can be.
I think you need 87% or something completion percentage.
I'm going to go to our numbers guy because I believe everything he says about numbers.
You need a certain number of yards per attempt and incompletion or completion percentage, and he just didn't meet it.
Well, speaking of numbers, I'll give you just since Darnold was Dan's pick. After the semi debacle that he had against the Jags, Sal's here.
Thanks for joining.
Here's what he's done since that game. 65 of 93, 912 yards, 9 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. Hey, Jay. We got
What's up,
Jay
Jay?
and Sally and QO. It's a party.
That's a round of applause for Sammy D.
So when people wanted him benched and we wanted Nick Mullins to take over for him, ever since Nick Mullins was, I think he may have heard somebody mention Nick Mullins to take over for him. And he said, "Oh, that's not happening on my shift."
Hey, I mean,
Yeah.
Nick Mullins has the best, QBR
Yeah.
for all the quarterbacks in the NFL right now. So
2 for 2.
Yep.
let's go.
Same guy twice.
It's so weird that every quarterback has bad performances. I mean, you watch Mahomes and he has a bad game. Josh Allen sometimes has a bad game, and for some reason we don't allow Sam Darnold to have a bad game. I don't get
No.
it. Just want him benched.
Sal, you can't love the ginger gunslinger too much.
Not anymore.
Yep.
No. I mean, I know how sad she was that Kirk left. That's right.
Jay got his birthday
He
win.
got his
yeah.
birthday win.
They
I
won.
got to pick one.
They won
I-
for you.
I got to pick one. All right. Well, I'm going to pick the most obvious. Every week, he's one of our stars of the game. It's got to be JJ.
Yeah.
Seven
These are
grabs,
literally all
132.
four. All four of the stars that I chose. This is all of them.
Those were my 4 easily. There was no other. I had nobody else on my list. I mean, 7 catches, 132 yards, 2 touchdowns, wide open to the point.
Like they're scared to block him.
I thought I was watching a soccer match with the dive with the flop at the end on his catch. Like, oh, he burned my butt. I guess I'll just flop and pretend I fell.
Is he trying to get an offensive pass interference or something? Like,
I have no idea. It was just like, wow. Yeah, those. And did you see my 3 amigos that I posted? You did see my 3 amigos.
Yeah.
Sammy.
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a heck of a game for those 4 guys, really. But
it was
Perfect.
special.
perfect. They were all as good as you can ask them to be in a 42-21 win. Now for the X factors.
Oh boy.
Do I really need to go through stats on these?
No,
No.
there's one winner.
We'll just recap who was picked. Cora took Brian O'Neill, who gave a sack.
Allowed
Right
a
away.
sack, man.
Gave a sack right away.
Oh,
Dan took Horrible Harry, and as much as I like the guy, he's not putting up huge numbers.
I really thought he was going to have a better game. I wanted him to.
We're all waiting for him.
I wanted us to shut out the Falcons too, but that didn't happen. So
Yeah, we're all waiting for Horrible Harry to have that game, and he's not. He's solid, but he's not putting up huge numbers.
right.
And I guess then we'll go to my X Factor.
Jay, I love that. As much hype as I am about darts, I got to give it to my guy KOC because of the amount of belief and confidence he gives to his players. That is beautiful.
That's a
I
good
love
one.
that. That's a good one.
That's a good one. But I had Aaron Jones,
Yeah.
13 carries, 73 yards, and a touchdown.
I distinctly remember last week saying that if Aaron Jones doesn't fumble the ball, he will win the X Factor.
And he did not.
And he did not. So
As much as I don't like that movie cue, that is a very nice Christmas movie reference. So now we get to pick this week's X Factor. Now, normally the winner picks first, but when we have a guest,
the guest
gets to pick first. So, Yannick, who is your X Factor for this Monday night matchup against the Bears?
Okay, so I'm going to pick Byron Murphy because someone has to stop Keenan Allen. For some reason, Keenan Allen always plays like an all-pro against us, and I hope Byron Murphy can end that streak. And Caleb Williams has not thrown an interception since October 13th. I think it's time to end that streak.
I'm surprised. I think so too.
He didn't throw for he didn't throw much though on Sunday. He was what did they have 4 yards at one point on offense?
Yeah, 4 yards at halftime and 5 punts.
4 yards and 5 punts.
Yep.
Oof.
I like that pick. I'm gonna go rogue, kind of rogue. I've done this before. Dear Brian Flores, tell your team to start tackling better,
Yeah.
start covering receivers better.
Stop trying to just pull the ball out. Tackle them.
Team tackling. Everyone swarms to the ball.
So Brian Flores is my X factor because the last 2 games on defense have been dismal.
It's
I
fair.
agree with Jay.
Too many yards. You've given up far too many yards.
Let
Yeah.
the bodies actually hit the flow. Yes.
Yes. Yep.
So I'm taking Brian Flores. I'm calling him out this week.
Yeah.
I almost put the Bobby Boucher jersey on again to remind them that we need some tackling fuel, but I didn't.
Yep.
So that's my pick. Cora, since you are second in wins, you get to go next.
I'm gonna go with Cashman.
He's on my list too.
I'm gonna go with Cashman. I mean, he's just kind of always there. He's always making plays, and I think he'll be the star this week, or the X factor this week.
Still hasn't lost a game.
That's very true. That's
10-0.
That is a very good point.
Yep.
Well, Dan.
All right. So can I do
No.
So I want to go with Gilmore, but on the off chance he's out, I want Shaq Griffin.
Okay. I think we
Wait.
did that with Hawkinson and Oliver when I
So
did
you're going with
Gilmore.
Gilmore.
Yeah. But if he's out and not playing, if he plays a snap, it counts. That's my guy.
Okay.
But if he's out and not playing, I Shaq Griffin.
Shaq Griffin should have gotten that interception.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, that was a terrible call, but the officials hate us, so
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Whatever.
That's right. It just made the ginger flame even more.
the ginger gunslinger.
It's the have you seen the movie Inside Out?
Is it Inside Out?
Yeah.
Anger?
Yeah, anger. Right?
Oh.
Where it's like we didn't get the call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flames coming out of his head.
Yeah.
Jay, I like your X Factor. The fans.
Jay's going with the fans.
I like
Oh,
it.
Winter Whiteout, yeah.
I feel like the fans haven't been as much of a factor until like the end of the game, or like I just don't feel like in the beginning of the game they're very much of an X factor, which has been kind of a bummer.
You know what they need? We need Darnold on the sideline with a towel.
With a towel? Yannick, have you seen the Vikings in person yet?
Oh yeah, last 2 games.
Yeah.
Oh, you've been you've been in Minneapolis. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And when you were there, did you
himself.
have any tater tots or a Juicy Lucy while you were there?
I did not know.
The tater tots casseroles are a big deal in Minneapolis.
Tater tot hot dish.
Hot dish,
Casserole.
I'm sorry.
Casserole. He said
He's
casserole.
not from
He said casserole.
Minnesota.
Doesn't matter.
He's not
Casserole.
from Minnesota.
Casserole.
It's a tater
No,
tot hot dish.
yeah. It's casserole.
Old
John's
faithful.
right.
No.
John's right.
If you're not from Minnesota, you do not get to say. It is a hot dish.
I'm not from Minnesota, so
It's a hot dish. Tater tot hot dish.
sorry. That's a sore subject. Here.
It's
I really wanted a Juicy Lucy when I was there, but I didn't have a chance to get out to get one.
Have you had a Juicy Lucy?
Yes.
Okay.
Yannick, do you know what a Juicy Lucy is?
Yeah, I do. And
Okay,
I
good.
don't think I'm gonna like it.
Oh no,
No.
not into the cheeseburger thing with the cheese in the middle
Not
of
really into cheese in general. Which might
Not
sound
into
a
the
little weird.
Lava cheese that could burn your mouth? No? Oh, shoot.
Well,
I think it's time.
Yannick, we apologize in advance for this segment every week.
No, it's in the Nix of Time.
It is.
And we only and this week Dan only gets 3 minutes for it because the Broncos were on a bye this week. So if you have something to do, somewhere to go for the next 3 minutes, you can.
I'm gonna plug something really quick.
Oh yes, we have something to.
We have our first sponsor, Coffee Wample Roastery. They are a local Minnesota-based company. My best friend and her partner, they own a company together, and they source their coffee beans, they roast their own coffee beans and everything. So they are our first sponsors of our podcast, and I tried to share it in the chat and I cannot. So check them out. Coffee Wample. I'll type it out because the link isn't working.
Coffee Wample.
Yep. They are excellent. My favorite roast is.
It's a P, not a B.
Oh my gosh.
We'll get the spelling right.
Cora's trying to spell it. I thought that might not be correct.
Yep, sorry, my bad. Just ignore the first one. My favorite roast is their Nova blend. It's a dark roast, and it has it's so good. It has like a chocolatey taste to it. Oh, it's amazing. So they just came out with a brand new one that is a mango blend. So Coffee Wample, check them out, please, because they're delicious and they're a wonderful company.
Poor Yannick. I'm like, we have all these foods and he doesn't like coffee either.
No, my caffeine intake comes from Coke.
That's fair.
But it's Coke, right? Not Pepsi.
I don't really care.
Oh, see, now I have to have. For me, it's Coke products.
That's fair.
All right.
All right. It's time.
Take it away.
The Nix of Time. All right.
Again, we all apologize for this 3 minutes, and I do keep track. Go ahead, Dan.
I know. This is my time to shine.
Yep.
Okay. So, he is on a bye week, so I did a little bit of research. So, according to the numbers, Bo Nix has thrown passes, and 23 of them have been dropped by his receivers. I went through and reviewed as much game film as I could across all the games up to this point. I counted 31 that have hit receivers' hands and not been caught. Now, I did not count ones where they had to dive for them and it was a fingertip one where it would have, it's an understandable drop. And then I also went through, and Bo Nix has 8 interceptions so far this year. He has what I would say 4 legitimate interceptions. Let me pull out my fancy schmancy notes here. Oh, there it is. Against the Steelers, interception at the end of the game was a Hail Mary, right? 1 second left on the clock, Hail Mary, throw it up, interception. I don't think any of those should count against stats, not just against Bo Nix, but against every quarterback. When you're throwing a Hail Mary and time expires when the ball's in the air, that shouldn't count against your stats as a quarterback, right? The rest of these interceptions, I also agree, should not count against the quarterback. I'm going, Jay, you chill. Okay? All right. Against the Chargers, interception, ball tipped off of the receiver. I will say it was slightly behind Sutton, but definitely a catchable ball. Against the Ravens, interception tipped that should have been caught. Hit the receiver in the hand and then off of the helmet. Against the Browns, we all saw on Monday night the crazy interception that bounced 20 feet into the air.
Yeah.
The one to Mims, I would argue Mims should have at least batted it down. Should have gotten a hand on it. As a receiver, I don't know what he was doing.
Imagine Bo Nix with competent.
So even if we take away the Mims interception, Bo Nix should be at 4 interceptions on the year because his receivers should catch the freaking ball. All right, I'm done. That's it.
He didn't even use his whole 3 minutes.
Maybe this segment should be Dan Gets Defensive about Bo Nix.
Yeah, really?
Oh, shoot.
We love Dan, and we have the most unique thing going when we talk about a quarterback who has never taken one snap for the Vikings, and we talk about him with we don't talk about him with passion.
I do.
Damn.
He does, and
I
I
do.
agree with him, but not as passionately.
She agrees with me out of pity.
Yannick, what do you think of Bo Nix? Is he like a hot casserole for you or coffee?
So out of college, I didn't like him at all. I thought he should not be a first round pick. I didn't like his accuracy. Didn't like his movement skills. But he's honestly been better than I thought. He's been decent this year. Still have some questions about his deep ball, but he's looking like a good rookie quarterback. So I guess Denver is happy about him. Dan is happy about him.
He's looking better than Daniels, or not Daniels, Williams.
Okay, I was gonna be like, babe.
Yeah.
Yes.
Depending on how it goes, we're gonna have a tight race for Rookie of the Year.
It's how you end the season, and both teams have some tough games ahead, so we'll see. Meaning,
I think
we're talking about
the walk-away defensive Rookie of the Year is Byron Murphy.
Oh,
Murph.
They're never gonna live that down.
Nope.
Ever. At least with our fan base this year, man.
And a great segue into Cora Gets Defensive.
Heck yes. So last week we featured Byron Murphy because he was having just a career year. This week, I'm like, who is this Jalen Redmond dude? And why does his name keep popping up? So I'm going to feature him a little bit. He went to college in Oklahoma. He played 36 games. He was there from 2018 to 2022, only had 19 starts, 71 tackles, 31.5 tackles for loss, 14 sacks, 1 forced fumble, and 2 fumble recoveries. He had probably his best season was in 2022, where he had only had 8 starts, 12 games, 23 tackles, 10 tackles for loss, 4 sacks, and second on the team with QB hurries. He did not do too great. He ended up on the training camp with the Panthers in 2023. He did not make the 53-man roster, and he ended up signing with the Arlington Renegades in the XFL in 2024. He played 4 games, 18 tackles, 5 tackles for loss, and 4.5 sacks. So that's a pretty good sack to game ratio.
Yeah.
He made our 53-man roster. He recorded his first sack of his NFL career against the Texans. He's played 10 games so far, 13 tackles and 1 sack, and he actually has the best PFF grade on our team of 87.4.
Wow.
In his interviews that they're talking about, he keeps saying that he is not a 1-week wonder. He is trying to stack up every single game that he has, and just take advantage of all the opportunities given to him. Now, he's a defensive tackle, so he's behind. Like, he's not someone that they are starting because the people in front of him are outperforming him in practice. So when Tillery needs a rest, he's coming in. But he said the roller coaster of his start of his career has really helped him show up when he needs to show up. Mm-hmm. And so he is trying to just stay on the team and make a splash when he can. And in all honesty, he is doing good because KOC has even said, he's on this team for a reason. And I notice him. So he's definitely getting noticed. He's definitely taking advantage of those opportunities. I mean, he is being recognized by all of our local sports reporters and a lot of just the Vikings content people. I think this week we had multiple articles written about him where they're like, who is this dude? So he's definitely getting some attention. And it's just one of those like ads that Questy and KOC added onto the team that no one would have expected this much from him, but he's exceeding expectations and just killing it.
Yeah, he actually got the start this week.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised if he continued to start because he's just a playmaker. And Tillery and Bullard are decent gap holders, I guess, but
Yep.
he's the only guy who makes actually plays in backfield and gets to the ball, had 2 pass deflections. He actually got his first college offer before he even started to play varsity football because he was just such a big dude, I guess. Then in college, in his first season, he had to sit out because of blood clots. And then he opted out of the COVID season because of the same reason.
Sure.
So I'm glad he's doing great now.
Yeah.
And I guess he will get more playing time in the future.
I think the Vikings are where you come when you want to prove yourself. It seems like we get a lot of guys like they have something to prove, and KOC is willing to give them a chance to do that, where they may not get that somewhere else. And we've seen so many. Bo Richter is another one that you think about, right? There's
Like,
a guy
who
who
is this
made a
dude?
splash in the preseason, and he's getting into play a little bit now.
Yeah, another dude is former first-round linebacker Jamin Davis, who just signs off the street, gets into the game. He had a sack on Kirk. For some reason, Vikings just find dudes and put them in, especially Brian Flores on defense. Feels like whoever can rush the passer can play for Brian Flores.
I feel like it's definitely all of these people who are just kind of like coming in who had like first round picks or who were first round picks or who had all this talent and they're just kind of like petered out. It takes a special kind of coach to invigorate them to perform at their best. And what was it, Jay? You said that KOC is a coach. What did you say? Up higher. He believes the amount of belief and confidence he gives his players. I think both KOC and Flores do an excellent job of giving their players confidence because they believe in them, but also because they put them in their strengths and they put them in the spots where they're going to shine.
Yep.
So it just makes it even better. And I love that about them. And I love these two. And I never want them to be separate.
The Vikings are the Ellis Island of the NFL.
There you go.
That's way out there. That's a really stretch, but, I had to say something. Well, I guess it's time for my turn, my segment. This maybe, and Yannick, I hope, enjoys this segment. This is where we take a game from Vikings history and recap it. And there's always a reason why we choose the game.
This is the
I choose the game.
One.
There's always some kind of tie-in. So, now we haven't gone back really far in the last couple of weeks. This week, we're going back.
Going back.
October 19th, 1986.
Jeez.
The Bears come to Minnesota. We start the game. Alfred Anderson out of the backfield, a 37-yard touchdown catch from Tommy Kramer. Kramer was hit as he released the ball, but Anderson was so open it wasn't even funny. We missed the extra point because we're the Vikings. And these are only 20-yarders. These are like chippies. 6-0 Vikings. The Bears had their drive in the first quarter that stalled when Steve Fuller, their quarterback, literally just fumbled the ball on his own. He tried scrambling, and the ball just came out of his hand. And then Timmy the Icebox Newton falls on it. Vikings take over.
Let's go.
Vikings will get on the board again when Anthony Carter, no relation to Chris Carter, catches a 60-yard strike from Kramer on a quick slant. And the Vikings take a 13-0 lead after one. The Vikings would get to the Chicago Bears 26 in the second quarter, and then Alfred Anderson would fumble to end that drive. We did score again, though. Chuck Nelson from 29 yards out. Key play on this drive, the Vikings recovered a Darren Nelson, their own running back, fumbled. Vikings fall on it, keep possession. The Vikings take a 16-0 lead into the half. Then Tommy Kramer on a scramble, on a third down scramble, 5 yards out. Touchdown. Vikings are up 23-0 as we head to the fourth. The Bears would finally get on the board when Willie Gault, former track star, would catch a 50-yard touchdown pass from Fuller. 23-7 Vikings. Ike Holt would intercept Mike Tomczak, who entered the game after the 2-minute warning. That sealed it for the Vikings. Final score, Minnesota 23, Bears 7.
Woo!
Stat, Tommy Kramer, just 18 passes, 12 for 18, 239 yards, 2 touchdowns. He ran for 21 yards and that 5-yard touchdown. Our top running back on the day, Darren Nelson, 14 carries, 61 yards. Top receiver, Anthony Carter, only 3 catches, but there were 93 yards attached to them and a touchdown. Holt had the interception. Gerald Robinson, 2.5 sacks. Linebacker Keith Millard with 1.5 sacks. Why did I pick this game? This would be the last time the Minnesota Vikings would beat the Bears team with Walter Payton on them. Hall of Famer Walter Payton, who had only 28 yards on 9 carries in this game. He would retire the following year, but the Vikings lost twice to the Bears in his final year. And I like to talk about Walter Payton because Walter Payton Man of the Year nominations just came out, and C.J. Ham is the Minnesota Vikings nominee this year. It's a great honor to be nominated for the Walter Payton Man of the Year. He was a heck of a running back. I'm sure none of you ever saw him play. I did because I'm old. And he really was poetry in motion. If you find clips of Walter Payton, watch them. He was truly one of the best you'll ever see in the game. And that is this week's Valhalla Back.
Wonderful.
Nice.
Love it. Is that going to be the score for this next week?
I don't know. Let's make our predictions because then we can do our question.
There we go.
What do you got this week against the Bears on Monday Night Football?
So I'm going to pick the Vikings. I think the Bears are due to win a game at some point, but Vikings are just better football team, so they pull it off. I'm going to pick Vikings 24 and Bears 17.
I like
So it's
it.
going to be a fight. It's going to be a Monday night battle, which we usually do with the Bears. I like it. Cora.
I am going to pick the Vikings to win. Shocker. My paper even has the Vikings winning on it. So my good old trusty. I am going to do 28-13 with the majority of their points coming in the second half.
Okay. And that's
So I don't think it's going to be close. I think the Vikings defense is going to I think they're going to be a little gap. I think they're going to come out hot. They're going to come out ready to go. And I think the fact that they've been playing so much these last few weeks is going to show up a little bit, and they're going to start scoring more points. But I think we're going to have more time of possession. I think overall it's just going to be, they're just going to dominate, but they're going to score most of their points in the second half.
all right. What do you got, Dan?
I got the Vikings.
Let's go.
I think
Do it.
It's not great. It's not that
55-2, Dan will pick.
52-2.
We're getting 43 this week. No. I'm gonna say 31-24.
Okay.
Another close one. High scoring, though. We've
That's
got,
a lot of points that the Bears are going to score.
so we're not believing in B-Flow's defense yet.
Apparently not.
Apparently, I've been too gung ho on it because I pick all blowouts, and then they get ran and passed for 400 or 500 yards, and it's not looking pretty. But no, I think I think we end up. I actually think we play more of a steady game. I don't think we have a blowout half. And I think it's just. I think we get the lead and we maintain the lead, but they keep scoring and moving the field, moving the ball.
The Bears looked pitiful this past week.
Yeah.
Awful. And that scares me.
That's fair.
It scares me because I think they're going to dig deep and say we have more pride than what happened last week.
But do they?
They lost. They did get their coach fired. So there's that. I still, that defense still scares me though. I think I'm still going to pick us to win this game 23-19.
All right.
I don't like us blowing them out. I think they'll hang with the Vikings though, because they seem to always hang with the Vikings.
Every team, for the life of me, why do we hang with them? Why do we let them hang with us?
Because we play down to the competition.
I will say I had this epiphany, and not that it's a really great epiphany, but this is like the first time that we've scored 40 plus points
Since 2018.
Yeah, since 2018. Should have been 45.
Should have been 45.
Like,
damn kickers.
it's insane.
Gosh.
It's insane how many points we scored.
Yeah.
But we scored half of our points in one quarter.
That's okay.
True.
Doesn't
As long as
matter.
you score 'em.
It's not over till it's over, John.
Yep.
Well, we're all picking us to get that 7th in a row, which would be great. Because I think they're going to need it. Because I think our last 3 games are going to be very difficult.
I have us losing 2 of the last 3.
I
On
think
my trusty paper.
I think this could be our last win of the season if we get it.
Wow.
That's depressing, John. That's
All right.
depressing.
Maybe I should switch it to we're going undefeated the rest of the way.
That's what I was going to say. So you stick with your trusty
Okay.
paper.
Okay. I'll stick with
All right, now we have to have some fun then.
Yes.
And Yannick, this is our segment where we ask a random question. No one knows what it is. It's random, and we just answer it.
Not necessarily football related.
Yep.
No, and a lot of times it's food related, which usually has us running late.
Related.
All right, what's your question, Terry?
Okay. Do you have one as well?
I'm
I have
between
one.
2. Go for
Okay. This one, this one can be quick. What is your favorite kitchen/cooking hack? I will go first and set the precedence for what I'm saying.
Okay.
My favorite thing that I have is to take a piece of bread and put it in your brown sugar to help keep it soft, so it doesn't get hard. So we have like a little container that we put our brown sugar in, or even in the bag, and I just take off a little piece of bread and put it in there, and if your brown sugar is already hard, you can put it in there and it'll soften it up, but you can also put it in there and keep it soft.
We do that with cookies. That's a good tip, though.
Yeah.
Yannick, what is your kitchen tip?
Oh man, I don't
See,
even.
you're going to get asked.
I don't even know if I have one.
Let somebody else do the cooking. That's good.
Yeah, that's probably better. I don't know. Guess I have to skip this one.
That's okay.
Do you have a hack?
I guess mine would be we have an electric stove.
No, the pan, stainless steel pan.
Oh yeah. So if you have a stainless steel pan, right? Whenever you're using a stainless steel pan, you've got to make sure it heats up before you put any oil or fats into it to cook.
Otherwise it'll stick.
So when you're heating it up, you do a water test, and you take some water and you sprinkle it on the pan. And if the water bounces around and gathers, it's good. If it hits and sizzles, it's not hot enough yet.
And then once it does it, then it's like nonstick.
Yep.
I love cooking tips because I'm trying to be a better person in the kitchen. I'm working really hard at it.
Nice.
Same.
Like I love to do breakfast. I cook it every weekend, almost every weekend. And I'm just trying to hone my skills. So I guess my tip is going to be related to, you want to know what it's related to, right? You probably know what it's related to.
Breakfast?
No.
Food?
Oh, popcorn.
Oh, yeah.
Popcorn.
Duh.
When you're mixing, when you're doing like a chocolate based or a coated popcorn, to help not crush the kernels, get yourself 2 big plastic bowls. Put half the popcorn in each plastic bowl. Put your topping over the top, shake it up a little bit, and go back and forth between the bowls.
Oh,
With a
okay.
spatula. Back and forth, spatula to roll the topping on it. You're going to have to do that quite a bit, but you won't break as many kernels by doing it that way. And you get a better coating, more uniform coating by going back and forth with the 2 big plastic bowls.
That's a good idea.
I've got a pancake one.
You only get one, Dan.
Dang it.
Save it for the next time. You can ask a question next time. What is your breakfast hack?
Breakfast hack.
Okay.
Dan, do you have a question?
What's your breakfast hack?
I wonder.
Come on, babe. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I don't know. You go, John.
All right. It's the holiday season, so I stay on theme until after it's over.
That's fair.
Basic. Favorite Christmas movie? Yannick, what is your favorite? Do you have a favorite Christmas movie?
I do, yeah, but I need to Google the name because in German the names are different. So maybe someone else should go first.
Tell me who's in it, and I might be able to help you.
It's that Chevy Chase movie.
Oh, Christmas Vacation.
That's it. Yeah. We watch it. We watch that every year and just love it. It's every time. It's fun. It's always funny every single year.
I've got the pajamas. I've got the RV, Cousin Eddie's RV, on my tree, and it has lines from the movie in it. So
perfect.
And I even have the moose cup. You know, when they do the eggnog, and they have the moose cups, the Marty Moose cup.
That's awesome.
I have one.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yep, I have one. I love that. That is a top-notch, all-time movie. I love it. It's in my top 3 easy. Maybe.
So who's going to say Die Hard?
Yeah, who's going to say Die Hard? Cora or Dan, you're going to say Die Hard?
No.
I was debating it.
Absolutely not.
Cora, what is yours?
Mine's probably The Grinch with Jim Carrey. Classic.
I like almost anything Jim Carrey's ever in, so I like that choice. That's a good one.
I will say this isn't a Christmas movie, but it's a movie we watch around Christmas, and we do Lord of the Rings every single year. But
it's more of a tradition.
It's more of a tradition than You made me think of it when you said you watch that every year, so we watch that every year. But The Grinch with Jim Carrey, it's
Dan,
fun.
what's your favorite?
He doesn't know. Nightmare Before Christmas. All right, Jay.
I would say Home Alone.
Ah.
Yeah.
The original, or did you like them both?
I liked them both.
Yeah, they were both good. I thought they were both good.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, mine was Christmas Vacation, but I'm not going to repeat it.
That's fair.
So I do have a backup. And this may not go well. I mean, I love all the Santa Claus movies. They're great. But I'm going to give you a movie that a lot of people probably won't have on their list instead of going with something everybody would think of. Fred Claus. And everybody's going to say, what is Fred Claus?
Oh, my. Yeah. I remember Fred Claus.
I don't think I've seen that.
I've seen it.
I watch Fred Claus every year.
It's funny. We should watch it.
I mean, how is a movie with Vince Vaughn not funny? But
some people did not care for it.
I mean, Vince Vaughn's not one of my favorite actors, but I will watch it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Paul
I honestly
Bettany
I
as
love it.
Santa is hilarious.
I can imagine.
Ludacris plays the elf DJ.
All right.
He plays DJ Donnie, so
I'm going to have to watch that when the kids go to bed.
Yes.
I like it. I like it a lot. And most people look at me like, you like what? I said, yeah, Fred Claus, leave me alone.
That's the way I was looking at you until I Googled it.
And that's okay. We like what we like.
Yeah.
Well, guys, this was fun.
This was a
And
pleasure.
Right.
thank you so much for your time tonight. We appreciate it.
Thank you for coming on.
Oh yeah, of course.
I love your content. Please follow him on Twitter.
Yes, please follow him on Twitter and Blue Sky.
And Blue Sky, that's right. We're all Blue Sky people as well.
And make sure you check out his editing stuff on purpleptsd.com.
Please do. I love the content. I really do. So much with the numbers, and that's my thing.
Yeah. Let me know when you need another guest.
Yeah.
You are always welcome. You can, if you have something to say, you contact us and we will get you on the show. That's
Sure.
how we are. We're happy to have them. And a shout out again to all of our listeners, or our listeners and viewers. Jay, who's here every week, he pops in. Q, who's one of our new and fun guests. We love you too. All of you who show up. Sal, who checked in again tonight. She gives us a lot of support. We're big fans of hers. All of you, we really appreciate everything we get every time you check in, whether it be live or watching the replay. We are so thankful. We decided to give this thing a go, and
Been a blast.
we have a good time every week. Such good people.
We
And
are
love-
under an hour.
We are under an hour, and that is a record.
Yeah.
So that said, you know what the drill.
Ready?
Take us out,
Ready?
Harry's.
Go.
Go. Go. Go. Go. Go.
See you next week.
Go.